But people's hearts aren't in it. They just can't work together as a community. There are so many barriers that are blocking those relationships, and just coming in with the money is not going to solve that. It's got to come down to a deeper heart level, and then we can see Cambodia really develop the way that it needs to.
I like the way that they're not driven by what they're driven by is their family, what they're driven by is relationship, what they're driven by is that loyalty to the people that you love and the people that you're there to care for, and their sense of family. And I like the way that they will, it's not just the families in terms of their brothers, their sisters, their uncles and aunts, but I like the way that when you develop a connection with Cambodians, if that connection's real and it's deep and it's meaningful, then they adopt you as part of their family, not just in the way that they relate to you, but in what they call you, the terminology they use to call you, and therefore the connection that you then have with them and every other person that's connected to them. And
so what do they call you?
they call, well, it depends. Some of my friends call me Yay, which means grandmother, which means to them I mean, they're mucking around, but it's this term of respect that means we know that you're someone that imparts into our life, as well as somebody who then we relate to on a friend's level, but you also have a role to impart into our lives, and it means that you shepherd them. It means that you bring them, you raise them up, because that's the role of a grandmother in that society. A single 26-year-old Cambodian girl would be starting to freak out because she's not married. Because for a woman in Cambodia, when they become a fully functional, valued citizen and part of their community is when they're married with children. And that's basically the last right for a woman to become a woman, is to have a family and then to exist to care for that family and love and nurture that family. So a 26-year-old Cambodian girl that wasn't married would be unique and would probably be getting a lot of pressure from her family to get married. But her life would be different to mine in terms of the opportunities that she would have, in terms of the goals and what she actually would believe that she could achieve as a woman outside of that traditional setting would be very different to what we're sort of taught we can achieve.
So what is it? How do they respect and treat you, being a single 26-year-old grandmother from Australia?
It's funny because in my neighbourhood, my friends call me grandmother, and in my neighbourhood, they call me grandmother as well, because I have 3 foster kids, Cambodian foster kids. So everyone says that I'm a mum, and they say that I have children. And then in my neighbourhood, a girl who's very close to me, who I lived with when I first moved to Cambodia and who considers me like a mother figure in her life, she's now married with a baby. And I care for her baby every morning for a few hours, and that because she goes to work early, and that's the role a grandmother would play, is to care for their children's children. And so all of my neighbours call me grandmother as well, because they see me looking after these kids and doing stuff like that. So a lot of people don't actually see me as your kind of average single 26-year-old Westerner.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You are welcome. You are very best way.
We perform, like we do concerts at night time, so sometimes we'll do weddings, or we'll do private parties for rich government officials, or we do youth concerts and stuff like that. And we're starting to do sort of more sort of bigger style event stuff in the city as a way. We've got this company, we've got secular music that we're writing and that we're producing, and then we're using it as a platform to get that music and that stuff out there to influence that pop culture group. So we'll go out at night with all our equipment, riding motorbikes with our guitars and stuff strapped to us, and go out perform somewhere, and then about 11:30 or so finish up and come home.